Let's go.
Malady grabs the vessel with 2 hands and pushes it into the water. She hops on board behind you.
God woken. Wait till she finds out.
Salty water mists your face. Your skin prickles in bright, warm sunlight. The boat bobs forward through the water, and Fort Joy shrinks behind you.
Tired but victorious, the party made for the Lady Vengeance. The horrors of Fort Joy behind them. They arrived as sorcerers. They left as God-woken. The fate of this God-forsaken world now rested on their shoulders. Or at least, on the shoulders of one of them.
I have a thought.
A light sea breeze kisses your cheek and carries away the smell of blood wafting up from the deck. In the distance, Fort Joy looms.
But the ship is ours.
Don't stand between a prince and his principles. The Magisters learned that the hard way.
What were they thinking, standing against an Eternal? I almost pity the poor, ignorant beasts.
I've no sympathy for those who die in the line of duty, especially as odious a duty as those dead Magisters held.
I'll be damned if I ever set foot on that island again. Don't care who I have to bury.
Bad luck to let the dead linger aboard. As soon as we get moving, we ought to clear the deck.
A hard-fought freedom, sure. But if spilling blood is bad, it shouldn't be so agreeable. Onward now. The sooner Fort Joy disappears from the horizon, the better. Perhaps the Seekers need help manning the ship.
Well, this is a fine sight. Utterly barbaric, of course, destroying a tree and turning it into a boat. Grotesque, but, well, look at it, Quercus. A floating nest, surrounded on all sides by salt water, pure poison to a tree's root. The great acorn could never reach us out here. Well, yes, of course we'll continue our research, Quercus. We're not monsters. Still, I must admit you were right about the shield. It proved to be more than adequate. Oh, yes, it seems our shield is still here, Quercus. How does something so large and ungainly sneak up on a person? You give the giants too much credit, Quercus. I think the salty air has addled your mind. It has certainly been useful, but elegant, kind, surprisingly attractive. No, we have no time for your fawning. We may be safe, but the world is not. Come, we must return to our research. Our shield speaks, Quercus. Prick up your phantom ears.
Claude. So close to escaping. this one. His name was Kerben. His friend's sword couldn't save him, it would appear.
Pray to you for my seeker brethren. Show us the path to salvation. Blessings to our foes. Pray that they may find rest. Pray to you for my seeker brethren. Show us the path to salvation. Don't go any further, Godwoken. We need you alive. The ship won't sail. We had orders to search every corner of it and figure out what's blocking us. It's hewn from elven livewood. I thought I could communicate with it, but...
She glances over towards a smouldering pile of ash on the deck nearby. Something is nestled within it. Fragments of scorched bone.
That was Brendan. When the ship wouldn't answer my call, he touched the figurehead, and it attacked him. Without warning. He burned, like he was made of parchment.
Her eyes flick over to the smouldering ashes once again, her head held at a despondent angle.
Thank you. We were held captive together, on this ship. He kept my spirits up. Now he's dead. Nothing. The ship is livewood, that much is clear. But I couldn't communicate with it. The Magisters must have done something, warped it somehow. I just don't know what. Just remember what I said, Godwoken. If you die, then this was all for nothing.
Before you is a towering figurehead carved in the likeness of a dragon. It looms over the bow, its fangs bared at the open sea. There's an odd mark on the side of the figurehead. Battle damage, weather staining. It almost looks like a pattern helmet. Searing pain races up your arm. The ship senses you. It's angry. The pain in your arm subsides to a dull tingle. The skin on your hand is already blistering.
Hear my prayer. Show us the way forward. Deliver us from peril.
Spare me, Gareth. We got what we came for. This is what success looks like.
I won't see them tossed overboard. Not here. We'll hold a proper service.
What's his face and so would want us to get this ship sailing before all else. They died for those Godwoken, after all.
You know their names, Malady. Can't you even pay them that much respect?
Gareth inhales sharply, then catches you out of the corner of his eye and smiles, barely.
Our guest stirs. Welcome, Godwoken. Glad to see you safely aboard.
Ah, very glad indeed.
Too many.
One too few, actually. Alexander, he's alive. Apparently, you didn't hit hard enough.
He's in the hold below decks. Unconscious, but alive. Question him. Someone has been hunting your kind, and Alexander fancies himself the only Godwoken worthy of ascending. As far as we know, you may even be the last still alive. If Alexander is guilty, he'll face justice. Yes, we certainly had better, but the ship won't move.
She's mute. We need to free her tongue.
This is barbarous magic.
Expedient magic, actually. The ship is made of live wood. It has the spirit of an elven ancestor tree within it. It seems Dallas has found a way to bind that spirit to her. That means only she can control it, unless we can find a way to break the bond.
The Seekers, the survivors of us, have been combing the ship from bow to rudder. It hasn't been easy. This place is laced with dark magic.
These Seekers have such a limited skill set.
We lost a man in the search. Malady might not appreciate that, but I do. And I hope you do too.
I'm sure the Godwoken will be able to get the ship moving. They kind of like to feel useful, don't they?
It's your best that'll save us all.
Farewell, Mattis. You did the Seekers proud.
Void Slayer, Worm Killer, Godwoken. You have many names. Let's add ship's captain to the list once we get this thing moving, shall we? Driftwood, of course. Little fishing village. Not very welcoming, but you'll brighten it up, I'm sure. Got family near there. Not the adventuring types. For the best, really. Meister Siever's there too. My leader. Our leader. She held the Seekers together when we had every reason to fall apart. Think of her as a teacher. The powers of the Seven stir in you. She'll reveal them to you. Show you how to manipulate them. I won't let the Fallen be forgotten. I'd be no better than Dallas, no better than Alexander, if I just tossed their remains into the sea. To think that whelp spawned from greatness. He deserves no better fate than his silent monks. All this blood. Children ripped from families. Seekers ripped from me. He's down there now, guarded like some precious jewel, rather than leashed and flogged like the dog he is. Amazing to think those of us in the Order once assumed the gods were with him, and only him. That was before we found the others. Other Godwoken. When Lucian died, we waited, and waited some more. Alexander never rose to divinity. Then we started to find more like him. We weren't the only ones who noticed either. Not every Godwoken we found was alive, and so the Seekers were born. We found Godwoken, housed them, fed them. I loved them like family. I was naive. But let's leave the past in the past and reach for what's ahead. She's not, well, not in the strictest sense. She's not exactly an elf either. Half demon, Meister Siva says, and I don't doubt it. I don't know how Siva came to know her, but Malady's a proper ally. She's not easy to like, but there are times I admire her coldness.
Gareth fingers the hilt of his blade. He stares at nothing in particular before turning his gaze back to you.
Keep Lucian close, Godwoken. May the fallen rest easy in the Hall of Echoes.
Gareth pauses, then shakes his head.
A mistake was made. That's all I have to say on the matter. Keep Lucian close, Godwoken.
You made it, Godwoken. Good. Not all of us did, though. The sooner we leave this island behind us, the better.
Our survival hinges on getting this ship moving, Godwoken. We are searching every corner of it for anything that might help us.
There you are. I was just thinking of you. This is Dallas's ship, but she can't have been the only one who could get it moving. It'd be too risky, and Dallas is anything but careless. There's a way to move this ship on board, I'm sure of it. You'd be surprised. A ship like this holds many secrets. Hopefully you can discover some these Seekers might have missed. The figurehead has certainly caused a commotion lately. But then again, so have the doors downstairs. Everywhere you look, a hunk of wood looking to incinerate or stymie you. Dying to hear them. Meister Siva is one of a rare breed. She'd do anything in the name of a cause, and her cause happens to be you. She's desperate to meet a living Godwoken. She'll be exceedingly pleased we're en route. You'd better not leave her waiting. She's a bit particular. She's the founder of these Seekers, and she's powerful. That means something when I say it. Your kind can reach astounding heights. Meister Siva can help you do just that. A place called Driftwood hosts a putrid fish, putrid dwarves, and Meister Siva herself. You'll probably find it quite comfortable.
Ah, there you are. High time to stop gallivanting and resume our journey together, wouldn't you say? Off we go, then.
Think, damn it. Where would a Magister hide something?
Yes. Is it an audience you desire?
have to find a way to get this ship moving. We can't let the Magisters catch up with us. We're too weak to fight them again.
I was just getting used to this seafaring life. You know, we could... from the look in your eye, I gather it's time to grab my things and get back to work. Ready? We'd probably get tired of this view soon enough anyway. It's good to be on the open seas again.
Ifan salutes right back, then grabs you in an unexpected bear hug.
Truth be told, I couldn't have done it without your help. But you know, a contract's not complete until you hand it in. So I'm not putting my feet up just yet.
He grunts approvingly. Side by side, you stare together at the wave-dashed horizon. The silent monk leans from one foot to the other. He seems eager to move. The silent monk leans forward slightly and stares at you straight in the eyes. She seems eager for you to say something.
Looking for... Will I know it when I see it?
Let's team up, you and me. What do you say? Now, onward! Missing hat, natty beard, vessel adrift. It's a sea captain's worst nightmare, it is.
I must say, you may not be an Eternal, but you are certainly not as temporary as many of your fellows. You handled yourself well. Personally, I am just glad that I do not have to walk back to Reaper's Coast. Wind travel may be primitive, but it is at least efficient. Livewood? You have taken a dead elf and carved it into a pleasure yacht? I knew you people were barbarians. I had no idea you were sadists, too. Well, no matter. Whatever gets me to Reaper's Coast quickly. I have an excavation site to explore. The only treasure worth digging for. Knowledge. I was investigating a site where several artifacts of my people have been found. Some were even intact. Alas, I was not the only one there. Those red-robed idiots were scurrying about too, trampling precious clues under their ignorant boots. They caught me when I failed to correctly respond to their questions, and dragged me here. Still, it's good to be on the move again. They simply asked me what I was doing there, and I simply told them to be gone from my lands. I may have used the phrase pathetic mortals. Come to think of it, I may have used it several times. Damn fools. The faster we leave them behind, the happier I shall be. Is that so? Perhaps we could find an arrangement that benefits us both. I need to travel to the Black Pit's oil field, near Reaper's Coast. But my attempts at staying under the cover have not gone well to date. Given how well you handled yourself in Fort Joy, I rather think you could be of use. And I am certainly useful to you. So, how about it? I travel with you and aid you in your various chores and tasks, while you help me to remain incognito. Very well. Let's be off.
All that fighting will be worth less than nothing if we can't get this tub moving. Not a thing but spiders and disappointment.
Wish I had that. How can one be seasick when one has no stomach? This
is heinously unfair.
Melody says if we can get the ship to move, we can go home. Home!
Will I know it when I see it?
There must be something around here. Nothing. Damn it.
There's something to these doors I'm not seeing. But what?
Hey! You're here! Pretty nice boat, eh? We got an upgrade. There's got to be another way to get it going, but we can't find a way into Dallas's room. Maybe you can see something we can't.
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice it's unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection. The wood groans and creaks. For a moment, you swear a face appears in the wood. A face tortured and tormented, a six-sided shape carved upon its forehead. The face vanishes. The anguished face appears, then vanishes. The door remains closed. The door remains unmarked. The door remains closed. It seems you need more than a password to open it.
How you doing? You creatures with your legs and arms and your opposable thumbs. You always want to steer the ship. You need to trust the ship. It knows what it's doing. It dances to the tune. It goes la 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 la, or something like that. It's pretty catchy, but I can't remember how it goes. Good thing Dallas had that book, eh? Oh, she opened it and looked at the marks on the inside. How the hell else? All right. Go to the nose bit of the ship, open the book, look at the markings inside it, sing the song. That's it. Get it right and the ship will dance to your tune. Get it wrong and the ship will kill you. That's always entertaining. For me, anyway.
You've braved the joy, and I lust for further adventure. What say you? Shall we continue our journey together?
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sabine in any sort of proximity, but at least she's on your side, for the moment.
A moment's pause. I had thought us too wicked for rest. So they are. My arms are gravestones, many a lost soul's last rest. One day I'll know who they were, the ones on my right arm. And one day, they'll all be dead, the ones on my left. They are the ones I was forced to kill. I don't know why. I can't recall. But I kept their names, and with their names, I will honor them. The Master. A lizard, but not any lizard. A spectre in the flesh, a man with no name. A darker shade in shadows. If he be a demon, as the frightened claim, I will be a demon hunter. If he be a god, as the cowering claim, I will be a godslayer. Until it is over, I will be nothing but vengeance. A day on the beach I'll be after.
She returns your smile, though you can read the skepticism in her eyes.
A lovely little promise to make. A thorny one to keep. We'll see how bloodied you're willing to get to pluck the one rose lost in a forest of daggers. Still, I do appreciate the sentiment. Those are the breadcrumbs, torn and tossed aside along the long road to the Master. They are inconsequential, candles snuffed out by a brighter flame, if I do say so myself. Ha! People will enslave anything these days. At least back in my day, they had the elegance to opt for an elf.
One of her eyebrows arcs, like a cat arching its back, ready to scratch.
A touchy subject, I warn you. It didn't exactly feel like a kiss. But the true pain came after, when I lost all of my own volition. I served but the Master. The Master and none but he. Touchy subject. I did warn you.
Sabine looks at the flask with surprise, but accepts it with a nod and takes a long draught.
My word, warms the heart and everything else besides. Thank you. I needed a bit of good cheer, so cheers.
And there goes the rest of your bottle.
Home, there's no such thing. I hail from the land that was, the kingdom of fog, the grave of divinity. If ever I had a home, it has long since gone up in the smoke of death fog, along with so many elves. So, no home, except everywhere, really. The world is mine. It's mine because I say it is.
She looks at you expectantly.
Yes, you may bow before the Queen of the World. We, the Queen of the World, smile upon thee with favor. We dub thee Knight of the Needle. Arise, good sir, and wear your title proudly.
She takes you by the hands and laughs heartily as you stand up.
How kind of you to play along. We won't forget. You don't say. I too had the pleasure. Of course, when I say pleasure, I mean the distinct dishonor. What always happens? I'd rather not talk about it.
She hesitates, but you can tell she wants to speak.
The thing is, Dilius, the Old Father, the Golden Leaf, he wants me to become the next Divine.
Her eyes fix on some unseen thing of darkness.
Beware of gods bearing gifts. Divinity. And yet, he treated me exactly. His was an exercise in power, brutal, like all true power is. His was a lesson, meant to discipline, not to edify. Why would I obey such a god? Like I said, beware of gods bearing gifts. But I do appreciate the sentiment.
Hey, don't I know you from somewhere? So, we've got quite the task on our hands, haven't we? I have to admit, the whole thing is very intriguing.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. Enough!
The old band back together again, hmm? I guess that depends, doesn't it? Look at me. Hard. What do you see?
Losa leans back slightly, thin arms crossed in front of her chest, and stares at you defiantly from dark eye sockets, darker and deeper set than when you first met. She blows back a lock of white hair, matted with sweat and grime, and holds back a smile from the corners of her lips.
But I'm not the same, am I? I want to make sure you understand, well, the risks. You don't get it. I'm dangerous. You have to pay attention. You have to be willing to hurt me if I'm hurting you or someone else. Can you do that? Do I ever? Still sore from that one. At the time, I wanted you to defend me. I didn't realize how bad things had gotten. I know better now. Something like that happens again, you do what needs to be done. Deal? Fair enough, but I can't walk beside you then. I need more than a companion. I need someone I can trust to do what needs to be done. You let me know if you change your mind. Hey, if you're here to talk about traveling together again, my mind hasn't changed. Unless I can trust you to do what you need to do if the thing takes control, I can't go with you. Really? Really, really?
She grabs your hand enthusiastically and shakes it hard.
Then the contract is sealed. Let's go, Chief.
behind bars suits you, murdering scum.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance.
Can't you say anything else? Bloody Magisters.
The Seeker flexes her arms stiffly. Her joints audibly pop. She sees you draw near.
I owe you, Godwoken. Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding Alexander the bloody Divine himself.
She nods her thanks and immediately winces, laying her hand on the back of her neck.
We're a big bloody target on our backs. We took their leader and their flagship. The Hammer won't stand for that. She'll be hunting for us.
The Seeker throws a toxic look at the imprisoned Magister.
Hardly. She's just some deckhand. If it were up to me, I'd tie her to the main mast and use her for arrow practice. But Malady wants her alive for now. I wish. No, the Magisters kept me chained to the bulkhead. Arms held above me head, feet barely able to touch the deck. Now my joints are paying the price. No, they had us down below, chained up in the dark. But the Reds were up to something in here. Maybe it was just the lack of food and rest playing tricks, but I swear I heard chanting and horrible moaning coming from here. But when we broke free, it was empty. Good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold, and the other one ain't in much of a talking mood. All right then, just don't make me regret it. Hope you find something useful.
A young Magister paces around the brig, fussing over Alexander's unconscious form. She leans over and applies a damp cloth to his brow. She notices you observing her. She straightens her back and sets her jaw in a defiant scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. That's all the information I'm giving to any of you lot, so stow your questions. Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the...
The Magister falls silent, but stares at you with unwavering defiance. There's a shift in the Magister's expression, a flicker of doubt. Then...
I'm a good Magister, loyal. But Dallas, something about her has changed. She's toying with dark magic, like a common sorcerer. She used to sing to the ship. It let her control it. She had this old book of hymns and incantations. It was only ever in her hands, or else locked away in her cabin at the stern. That's all I know.
The Magister leans in and whispers urgently.
If you ever find yourself face to face with Magisters, you tell them I was tortured. I didn't betray the cause, not until I was near death. Understand? Get away from him, sorcerer. That's the Divine. All right. Don't harm him. I'll be watching.
Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, his eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle. Bruises swell beneath his eyes, and a shallow gash zigzags from his right ear down to his beardless cheek. Unconscious, he looks more boy than bishop. Someone has wiped the bishop's hands clean and folded them neatly over his abdomen. They rise and fall in shallow, jagged swells. A beautiful six-sided gem rests on the bishop's chest, hung round his neck by an ordinary oiled rope. The gem sits heavily in your pouch.
You spoke, didn't you? Ha! I knew you would eventually.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate.
Too late for that now, Red. The bell can't be unrung.
Ifan grabs you by the sleeve, not hard, but insistent.
Let me work on him. I've got questions that need answers. Answers I can only get from him.
Ifan approaches Alexander, who lies flat on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, Alexander's eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle. Ifan grabs him by the jaw and shakes, violently. Alexander's face contorts with agony and his eyes flutter, yet he doesn't return to consciousness.
Why did you trigger the death fog before the elves had a chance to escape? Why? Why?
No matter how loud Ifan shouts his questions, there is no response from the unconscious Alexander. He reaches his arm back, and you realize he intends to punch Alexander in the face. As if waking from a dream, he turns to you, disoriented. Hesitantly, he drops his fist until it hangs loosely by his side. Sheepish now, he scratches the side of his head with his other hand.
You're right there.
With a nod, Ifan strides away.
You spoke, didn't you?
Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot, though
Corker's mate.
Too late for that now, Red. The bell can't be unrung.
You spoke, didn't you? Ha! I knew you would eventually.
Magister Ranley, Corker.
What's this? I found something.
The door remains unmarked. The anguished face appears once more. It dips its forehead towards you and waits. A shudder of pleasure racks the figure in the door. It seems to breathe. All of a sudden, all anguish is gone. It gives you the sternest of looks.
I am summoned. Speak the password. Yes, and yes again. The word is spoken. Welcome to the stateroom.
You did it! I knew there had to be a way, and you found it!
You got through the door. You really are a god woken.
Just one more moment, please.
He clicks together two halves of some type of gauntlet sitting in his lap and turns his full attention to you.
And there. Rescued at last, am I? To whom do I owe my thanks? I'm a prisoner, of course. Do you think I'd be sitting here calmly if I was a Magister holdout? That infernal Dallas woman left me trapped here, too weak to escape. It seems I'm in your debt. Dallas took a particular interest in me and my skills. I'm an expert in healing, crafting, and more arcane practices. She kept me here to do her bidding, until you took her flagship from right under her nose, it seems. Oh, yes. And she could be a most cruel mistress, I'm sad to report.
He extends his arm and pushes up the sleeve. Beneath, the skin is withered and discolored, as if it were magically decayed.
She used some form of domination device on me, forcing my hands to do her bidding, and I've ruined them in the process. Oh, cast spells, tinker with relics, meddle with the laws of nature. All the sorts of things power-hungry despots love to do. She had me enchanted dead cat over there, so it would seem alive.
He clicks the gauntlet into place around his withered forearm, his eyes on you the whole time.
But that damn contraption that she used on me seems to have fogged my memory. The rest is a blur. No! Necromancy is an unsavory practice, not something to be trifled with lightly. This is but a cunning illusion of my own creation, nothing more.
His face abruptly creases into a smile.
But come now, enough of Dallas and dead cats. You've taken this ship and granted my freedom. This is a happy moment. I'm afraid I cannot tell you what I do not remember. Could you pass me that copper wire just there?
He takes the copper with a nod of gratitude. His sleeve slips back above his elbow. In its crook, you see part of a tattoo. A pattern of concentric circles rendered in black.
Perhaps my memory will come back with time. But for now, I'm afraid there's little more I can add. I'm doing my utmost to be civil to you, under rather trying circumstances. Why must you push me like this? I'm more than a sum of my parts friend indeed. But I fear you might have come to the wrong calculation about me. How about you just let this matter rest?
If this one was enslaved by Dallas, then he could still be under her thrall. We can't risk keeping him around.
The Seekers are too trusting by half. We can't just let this healer go free.
I'm not perfect myself. It isn't for me to judge this one.
Let the creature live. He is hardly worth our time.
Anyone who faced enslavement deserves our sympathy, not our blades. Leave him.
Something tells me that he'll only bring us woe, but I can't judge him, yet.
He takes your hand in his gauntlet-clad fist and shakes it. There's a lot more power in his grip than his slender frame would suggest.
Call me Tarquin, and consider me at your service. We're barely acquainted. Why should I tell you anything personal?
A flicker of hesitation crosses Tarquin's face. He glances down to his wasted limbs.
You're most persistent. Perhaps our past will pit us both against the hammer. We will see. But don't claim me as an ally just yet. My allies tend to die. I must admit, despite what she did to me, I can't help but admire her a little. The woman is unwavering. She will break before she bends. So if you should cross paths again, be sure to leave her broken. You will not get another chance. There's likely not a soul aboard this ship without secrets they'd rather keep hidden. Why should I face more scrutiny than the rest? Well, pardon me if I don't put too much stock in your feelings. Knowledge, facts, discerning, educated opinions. That's where I put my faith in. No! This piece is far beyond what those wretches could muster. This is something of my own design, to meet my own requirements. The Magisters left me weakened, but this will help give me the strength to carry on my work.
Pyramid. What on Revlon is this for?
A teleporter pyramid. Only one way to find out if it works. Try using it.
I've spotted something. What's this? I found something.
back as I stalk my prey. My tail rattles like a snake's. I suffer. Don't touch me. My very being is a curse. Was Tarquin that wretch, that rat? I ate an ill mouse and passed in my sleep, and the brooding boar brought me back on a lark. Me miserable. Mumsy? Is she here? Mumsy, where are you? 'Tis I, Booply Bear. I am quite changed, but don't be frightened. You? She sent you?
The cat begins to purr and rub itself on your ankles.
Any friend to Mumsy is a friend to me. I believe the song is around here somewhere. Oh, I don't know. In the direction of over there.
The cat purrs, an eerie clicking sound.
Tell Mumsy to come back soon. Now that I am but bone, I'm too light to trip the moving door. I'm sure there's a rat back there.
Oh, Quercus, don't be like that. I was looking at his bone structure for academic purposes. There's nothing to be jealous of, honestly.
If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were taking a shine to me. You're hardly out of my presence lately.
And you thought Rivellon was flat.